I didn't even know it was on. Where's my flash on? My bad.
Whoa, there's another hand in there. Babe, look. Babe, look. There's another hand in there.
Oh my god.
Where the hell did she come from?
Where the fuck did she come from?
That is Kim, everybody. Give her a big hand, please. Kim.
Yeah!
Happy to show it out. So we're going to do a lot of different types of magic tonight, some big stuff, some little stuff. We even bring like a 15-year-old boy up on stage and put him here in the center, and we surround him with a couple of mysterious people in red cloaks, and they hum, and then that boy just vanishes, and then we never bring him back, and nobody cares. They're like, wow, there's less complaining. Amazing. And the 15-year-old's like, is he talking about, I don't even know, I'm looking at my phone. Find him on Wiki. So, anyway, so we're going to do a lot of stuff tonight. This next piece of magic is inspired by what's called optical art or op art. It was big in the 1950s, 60s, around that time. You guys have seen it. It's the black and white squares that are all next to each other, and it creates optical illusions like tunnels and motion. It has to create an optical illusion. It's not actually op art. But the limitation is it's flat. It's 2D. So what happens if you make it 3D? So that's what we did right here. So watch very closely because there's quite a few twists. Cartoonist, that one goes there. No, moving on, moving along. And your opportunity. Can I get a little more mic on this monitor? Just a little bit more. So we're going to do, like I said, a lot of different stuff. We've got big illusions to do. And then we've got like really small stuff. That's something people really seem to like. It's like the close-up magic. Or really, here we call it close-up magic. In the UK or England, they call it micro magic, which is kind of cool. Micro magic. In France, they have their own name for it too. They call it Stupid American Magic, you disgust me. Let me love you. I don't know why they call it that. So the problem with close-up magic is that from 10 or 15 feet away, it gets really, really difficult to see. That is why we have this elaborate camera set up over here, and we have these 3 big screens so that you guys get a zoomed-in view of everything that my hands are doing. Or as they say in Spanish, el lajandos or something. I don't know. I don't speak. I'm not from Queens, but she's setting on here. There. Cool. All right, cool. All right, what do we got in here? You guys have probably seen magicians use, like Sharpies in magic. I also use Sharpies, but I try to do it a little differently. Now that's doing tricks that only I can see, actually. Wow. All right. But if you have the drink package, you should drink up, and then you'll be seeing tricks that I'm not even doing. You're like, how's he on the ceiling? So, anyway. The problem with close-up magic is that, like I said, 10, 15 away, but it's really tough to see. But backstage, by the way, I was talking to May, the cruise director. I was talking to Adrian, the production manager. I forgot to do my magic finger limbering exercises, and I'm not supposed to do that in front of a, group of, muggles. But,
Wow.
even so, here, I'm going to do it because I have to. Limbering, magic, limbering exercise. Here. And you're like, oh, he skipped the ring finger. Of course I skipped the ring finger. That's the hardest one. Everybody knows in showbiz you save the hardest for last, the ring finger. And here's all the people, so, boom, son of God or something, I can't remember that. My favorite Bible story is the one where the guy was swallowed by the whale, because in the end his son became a real boy, and he was like, oh my God, Geppetto, that is beautiful, that is beautiful. And of course the lesson of that Bible story is, don't lie or your nose will grow. So, what do we have in here? Let's do, all right, what should we look at here? Make noise with your hands if you want to see a card trick. Anybody want to see a card trick?
That's not my dad right there, is it?
You guys realize this part of the show, I try to put at least a little twist on the magic that you're seeing. So this card trick doesn't even use any cards. It just uses actually the packaging that the cards come in. But this is very special packaging because this is from the Bicycle Playing Card Company, the biggest playing card company in the world, Cincinnati, Ohio. But this packaging has not been printed on yet. So this is a collector's item for magicians, gamblers. We're kind of into this stuff like, oh, this is pre-printed, that's cool. And you guys are used to all the vibrant colors. Sometimes they'll do special editions with like gold or silver. But you're used to like, the blue and the red and just those, colors like the standard kind of color like that. But this is a fully exploded view here, so you can see all the components. It says fold to line, there's the manufacturing code, there's a barcode there. Over here and here, this is where the adhesive goes. And then when you take all these components and you just fold them together, just like that, and it looks like a normal deck. Obviously, it's useless because there's no cards in it, unless you're like super amazing magic like me, and you go 152. What a treat it is for you guys to watch this, honestly. I've never been able to watch the show myself, Always have to. It's always my work night, so I don't get to sleep. This is called springing the cards, and when you're first learning magic, this is one of the things you'll learn, then you just do it the rest of your life, and it's like a little meditative sort of a thing. And when you first start, it's just really close like that, and it's not very good. It looks like the cow shuffle, blah, 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 blah. And, or the derriere, as they call it in Michigan. And then you get a little bit better and smoother, and you can go further distances like that until you can do trick shots like this behind the back. Here we go, down, 1 second, and back up. Got him. Okay. cracked up too. Wow, I'm glad that most of you got it as a joke. And other people are like, he's a god. This is my area, by the way. This is where I'm from. I was born in New Jersey. Any New Jersey people out there? We're very loud from New Jersey. That was only 3 people right there.
Damn right.
That was a Stacy and Tiffany. And
Stacy, Tiffany.
And then I was raised in Pennsylvania. Anybody from PA? A lot of PA people. And then a lot of my career was in New York. Any New York people? They were gonna yell, "I'm walking here!" And then there's like a bunch of other states, whatever, who cares? But so is there Connecticut? I heard Connecticut. I'm surprised you can yell with your mouth full of caviar. And is there West Virginia? There's never West Virginia. Is anybody from West Virginia? Yeah! Oh my gosh, how can you afford it? That's a lot, but it is a lot of squirrels to kill and skin, though. You have to admit, that's a lot. And it is seldom Utah, and they're from Utah. Exactly, because cruises are evil. That's like, what are they going to get, like 7 rooms? And they always have, Remember, it's not offensive if you don't know what it means, okay? I like the nicest people. They all are blonde, though, so that's creepy. All right, so they're always an Eagle Scout. All right, so I got some cards. Let's make noise with your hands if you want to see the first card trick I learned when I was 4 years old. You guys want to? When I did this is how I knew I was meant to be a magician. I would do this trick. People would be stunned. They would be speechless. And so I was like, I'm going to do this the rest of my life. So to do this, raise your hand if you'd like to help out, but stay at your seat. I'm going to look around and I'm going to pick somebody. Only keep your hand up if you have a loud, clear voice. If you're quiet, then just put your hand down. Nobody wants to. All right. I like this lady with the red glasses here. Her hands are up in sort of a Spock formation like that. Yes. And do you have a loud, clear voice though, miss?
I do.
You do. All right. Then you're going to have to prove it in a second. Go ahead and stand up. This kid's recording the entire show. Because some of you will eventually go, hey, do you have that magician show from the cruise? I do. Are you drinking straight gin? What do you got there?
Well, this is a little Jameson and ginger.
Little Jameson. Okay, so you do have a problem, but you like to mix.
Yeah, exactly.
What is your name? Yell it very loudly.
Caitlin.
Caitlin. You have to be loud.
Caitlin.
I heard you in the hallway earlier. You were just like, I didn't come here for this.
Sounds about right.
All right. Well, so Caitlin, do you play cards at all?
Not really. No.
Not really. Do you know the cards in the deck?
Yeah.
Like this is a reverse card, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it is.
All right, so Caitlin, I want you to think of a card, but I don't want you to think of any aces. Ta-da, they're very easy to find. And I don't want you to think of any spades. Ta-da, because maybe I showed you the spade there so that you would Inception style, think of the spade, okay?
Right.
So think of another suit, another card, another face. Numbers are really difficult. Don't go like this, I'm a lady, I'm Queen of Hearts. They all say Queen of Hearts. It's very, ta-da, Queen of Hearts, like tattooed on your chest. All right, so, you got your card, Caitlin?
Yeah.
All right, yeah, okay.
Well, because I wanted another one, but I don't know what it's called. I see it in my head. So.
Okay, well, is it like a Chinese game?
I got it.
You got it?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I mean, this might be fun. Red. One time, very loudly, Caitlin, what is your card?
Club.
Okay, well there's 12 of those. So now we're down. It's ace through king.
Oh.
Yeah, that's your friend. Ace through king.
4.
Let's say 4. 4 clubs.
4 clubs.
Okay, so we'll call it the 4 clubs then. We'll name it a new name. Alright. Club. 12. Alright, so so you picked the 4 clubs, yes?
Yes.
Okay, you can have a seat. Give her a big hand. Caitlin. Got a big thing of clear liquid there. Alright, so there's pictures in there. There's not even ice. Like ice just cuts it down.
It's
Alright, Caitlin. Card trick when I was 4 years old, I would do this, people would be floored, they would be speechless. Now if you watch, all the cards are in order. Pay no mind to that. That just makes it a little bit easier to do. That's not the point, though. The point is that every card is moving left to right, from my perspective. Maybe right to left from yours. And what was your card one more time?
4 club.
4 of clubs. Watch closely. All the cards are moving except one card. Yell your card out with a loud voice.
4 of clubs.
4 of clubs. There it is. The only card not moving in the deck.
I don't get. From the back.
I don't think I have to tell you what you just saw. I told you the audience when I was 4 I would do that. They would be stunned. They were like, what is that? And then I knew this would be my job forever. So I think we learned a valuable lesson. If a magician says, hey, do you want to see the card trick I learned when I was 4 years old? Your answer is, did you learn any better ones after that time period that maybe aren't so lame? And that's perfectly fine. That is how magicians learn. If you have a kid in your life right now that's very young, these are the kind of dopey, terrible tricks that they're doing. And then they get a little bit better. And then they start going to the library and they learn tricks from the books there. And then they go on YouTube and they learn tricks there. And then they go to local magic clubs. You drop them off there and they learn tricks there. Maybe the first couple times you drop them off, I'm going to just go in and look around, make sure everybody's cool there. Fine, all the word people. And then again, they learn on YouTube, they buy videos, they learn from their friends in magic clubs and stuff. And then you get so bored, you start stealing other people's tricks, like that kid with the video camera. And then you start I said video camera, phone. And I never answer it, but all right, whatever. And then you start stealing tricks, and then you stop, because that's bad. And then you get so bored, you start drawing little people on the back of your card like that.
Oh, that's pretty
You draw little celebrities. You're like, oh, it's Paris Hilton. No, look again. Look at the shimmer tights. It's Taylor Swift. And then I drew her a little bit thicker than she is in real life. Look at her butt's still oversized. And she's on the back of every single look. It's Tay Tay. See, and if I go like this, it's like she's running away from a good relationship. So but if you look closely at her arms, especially, you'll see they're not exactly the same. That's because this entire deck of cards is a flip book. Every one of these is in a particular order on the back in a flip book arranged in a specific way. And you're like, hey, magic guy, how long does it take to hand draw a flip book like that on the back of every single playing card? And I can tell you from personal experience, it takes between, roughly about 4 sessions at HR at work. And if you watch closely, she has a little trick for Miss, is it Katie over there?
Caitlin.
Caitlin. You were wrong the first time. All right. And a little trick. She removes her hat. She reaches into her hat and she pulls out a little adorable dog.
That's a bunny.
Into a magical bunny.
Oh,
And
got it.
turns that bunny into the back of a playing card. And then she flips that card over to see Caitlin's 4 clubs, just like. I love the sort of journey of that trick where stings. I'm like, how did he do that? And it's a plant, and then you're like, why would he pick someone who doesn't know cards? So make noise with your hands if you have ever heard of the illusionist David Copperfield. You ever heard of David Copperfield? He's very famous. He's the most famous and the most successful magician illusionist who's ever lived. Literally probably more financially successful than every other illusionist combined ever, which is kind of crazy. He's done over 20 network specials, won over 21 Emmys. He's in the Guinness Book of World Records. One of those will amaze you. One of the reasons he's in the Guinness Book of World Records is this, because in the time of his career, David Copperfield sold more live tickets than Elvis and the Beatles combined. That is a fact. Yeah, it's kind of hard to believe that. It's very true. And if you know anything about him, there was one trick that he did when some of us were very, very young, some of us weren't born yet, obviously. It was 1982, and he made the Statue of Liberty disappear. And that was a trick that solidified his name as a household name for the rest of his career, the rest of his life. That trick will be talked about forever. Magicians don't make up all their tricks. Our first 2 tricks were invented by a friend of mine now. His name is Jim Steinmeier, and Jim was around then in 1982, and he's making tricks. And he is the guy who designed the illusion of making the Statue of Liberty disappear. And he worked for a guy named Doug Henning, and he said, Doug, this is a great trick, you should do this. And Doug said, that's not for me. And then David was like, it's for me. And he Maybe he stole it, some people aren't sure. But anyway, and then he did it, and he blew up. He did it on network television. So I got this little postcard of the Statue of Liberty, because we saw it, when we left the harbor a while ago yesterday. And so on Liberty Island, he had about 100 people sitting right down here. He had a trussing erected around it. He had a clock down in the front. He had a little radar detector. He had helicopters all around, flying around the statue. He had searchlights going through. And then at the right moment, down at the very, very bottom here, he had a cloth, and the cloth went up around the statue. When that cloth went down, the statue was gone. I'm sorry, did you expect me to do that? I just thought it was really cool. I'm not taking copy for it. Plus with TikTok today, you got to do this stuff super quick. People expect magic to happen like in an instant like that. And then, thank you. David, you have to make certain that you bring Liberty back, just like... You met my assistant Kim earlier. She's about to push something out here. She's about to push out a wooden trunk. This is the kind of trunk that magicians put some of their smaller props in, and then they send it all over the world and stuff. So we have 3 just like this. One is going to be in Texas later this week, one's in Pennsylvania, and this one is here. And you can see these stickers all over it. These are actually packing labels. And we hit a whale. Did you feel that?
Can you imagine a whale?
The other whale's like,
what is that? Water. It's a wave.
And then it says navigator of the sea. So these are just packing labels and stuff. And then there's these marks all over. Before COVID, we used to stick this thing out in the crowd and stuff. Then we changed the routine afterwards. But before that, for years, we put it out in the audience, and then people would come up and they would sign this thing all over the place. So there's signatures, autographs from people, audience members from all over, from China and Australia and the UK and Lancaster County, Pennsylvania. And just, ooh. And there you go, Shady Naples represent. Okay. Wow, you're there. Okay, cool. So the other people are like, what's Shady Naples? Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's an underground club for Amish people. So I think it's the biggest buffet in the world. In the world? Yeah, in the world. So it's a super long buffet, bigger than the one up in, up there, the market. And 200 feet. Okay, all right, lady, calm down. It's really, it's pretty big. 200 feet is a bit much. But no, it's so, you can't eat everything on it. It's ridiculous. It's all Amish people, so they make it perfectly, and then it's like the best thing you ever had. And then when you leave, you're like, why did I do this to myself? It's disgusting. She would fly by. But I don't live in Lancaster. I live in Berks County, which is a little bit. And we have a lot of Amish people there as well. I swear to God, I saw some on the way coming here and driving here and stuff. They weren't. I was driving. They weren't driving, obviously. That'd be a sin. But I don't know that you see them in the daytime. They're like deer. You're like, you see them in the day, but like, where do they go at night? Where do they sleep? Kind of feed them by hand? Do they have ticks? What happens to their antlers? Is that, I don't know. But one thing about Amish people that you don't know that I do know is that Amish people like magic. They understand that it's a form of entertainment, but they are kind of easy to fool. So when I'm working on a new trick, I'll invite some Amish people over to the house. I mean, like, very easy. Like, I'll flip on the light switch and I'm like, oh, the devil! Like, calm down, Jebediah, Just relax, churn some butter. Whatever that means. I don't even know if they do that anymore. But there's a bag in the bottom of the box. We'll get to that in a second. This chain right here on the very end, there is a key, and this key is the only key that opens up those 3 padlocks, which seems counterintuitive because it's going to be inside of Mom's pocket while I'm inside the bag, inside the box. Now, every trick, every illusion in magic has a name, has a title, and this trick is entitled The New Jersey Divorce. And it is final, no alimony required. You just need a pickup truck, some friends, and the Pine Barrens.
I have all 4 of those things.
So tied up, locked up. Hopefully something amazing happens.
I didn't see her lock the backside.
I need you, oh God, don't take these beautiful things that I've got.
Is that amazing? Locked up, locked up, locked up. Gotta open this sucker up quickly. Here we go, lock number 1, there we go. Lock number 2. Gotta do this quickly. There's a thin line between a great magic trick and murder, so I wanna... There's the part where Kim immediately jumps up out of the box. Here we go. Boom, Miss Kim. Okay, she's not moving. Let's just close that up. Oh, thank God. Oh, she's dead again. There are the knots that Kim tied herself a little bit ago. Let's recap. She tied me inside. She locked me inside. Oops, spider Kim. She locked me inside. She basically left me for dead. Even so, Kim was on top. I was inside. That sounds weird, I know. And then we switched places, as you do. But when I open up this bag, unbelievably, inside is going to be Michael Jackson alive. It's on, yes, Shimon, people, Shimon. No, it's Kim, but she always does this extra little bit. I got the girls like, oh, cute top. She changed into a cute top somehow. The guy's like, what's different? Is it her hair? Is it her hair? It is on her hair. It's blonder. It looks more Mormon. So, anyway, so I knew this man. He has perfectly white hair. He was the kind of guy who seemed like he was old his entire life, probably because he was old the entire time that I knew him. That's just how kids look at the world and stuff. And he had a farm on a bunch of acreage in Pennsylvania, and he had a creek out front. My brothers and I could go there and swim in the creek and stuff. He found like the right sword, right stick that you could able to sort up. And it's cool. And he was a cool guy, and he had a glass like this. He would freeze it in the freezer, take it out about 3 times a day, fill it to almost the top with Kool-Aid, and drink that 3 times. Nobody should drink that much Kool-Aid in a day, but he did. That was his thing. He had these little tiny glasses like this. I always thought they were kid-sized glasses. Turns out they are not kid-sized glasses. But I learned later in life they are fun-sized glasses, that's for sure. And then in college. And he had a handkerchief like this. He always carried as one of those guys with a handkerchief. And the kids were like, what's a handkerchief? It's like a Kleenex, but it's made of cotton, and then it's current, and then you wash it. But you can give it to somebody, and they can use it, and you take it back, and if somebody else needs it, you can give it to them too if you want. And it's disgusting, but from the heart. And he had a massive coin collection, thousands and thousands of coins, and in the end it turned out quite a few of the coins were worth a lot more than their face value. He had a good eye for that. He was one of those Depression era guys who had a good eye for that stuff. And he would tell us stories about his time in the war and stuff like that. The most important thing was he was one of the first people who ever showed me a magic trick. And I never asked to learn one, and he never offered to teach me one. But if I saw him, I said, hey, can I see a magic trick? And he would take a handkerchief or a glass or a coin or a toothpick, and he would do a little piece of magic with it. And it just absolutely stuck with me. And it seemed like it was an hour-long show. You know, it was just probably a minute or 2 long, but it stuck with me the rest of my life. And so this piece is an homage to those people who come in and out of our lives, sometimes just very briefly, and sometimes they're there for a very long time. But they leave their mark on us without realizing at the time that that's what's happening. And I can picture him wanting to perform a piece of magic like this for you guys. And I can picture him when I hear this song right here as well. So this is a 50-cent piece, penny, $50. This coin is easy enough to see. There's another one over here in my other hand. This one has to be seen to be believed.
Down the sleeve. Who's up the sleeve? That's
This one goes over here. I'll leave this one over here. With this one, watch the glass very closely and then get that other coin back. Grazie, that's Italian for grazie. Prego, I'm more of a... anyway, I'm trying to think ragu. Ragu, so, you know, if you take some old scraps of wood, some scraps of metal, maybe an old beat up ladder, an oversized blade, and some cardboard cartons sliced to bits, it's not very glamorous, but those are the real parts and pieces that magicians use when they're coming up and working on new illusions, new ideas and stuff. There's planning and experimenting and proof of concept, and at some point, you just have to do it. It's just like, a lot of people think magic tricks just work, but it's actually a lot more like music, like a song. You have to experiment with it, but you eventually have to put it in front of an audience. It's nothing if you don't actually put it in front of an audience. And maybe you'll sink or swim, maybe you'll end up with something new, maybe it'll be a great new piece of magic, or maybe like an unfortunate old review of somebody's show, quote, it just isn't up to contemporary professional standards and another endeavor might be in order. Which is a rough review. That is not a review of my show, it's a famous old review. And it's actually in a song. It's kind of like, you remember that song, Cats in the Cradle? You guys ever hear Cats in the Cradle song? Yeah. It's a great song, very heartfelt song, sometimes a tough song to listen to for different people. But if you were like me and you were born after that song was written and came out, then you would swear that an artist named Cat Stevens sang that song. But if you were around when that song came out, then you know that that's not true. It was a completely different, talented artist, gone long before his time, in Harry Chapin. He's the one who put that song in front of the audience. He's the one who came up with it. And Chapin wrote a song a couple decades ago called Mr. Tanner. It was all about a person who decided at some point he had to try his shot at a music career. It was about somebody who decided at some point, he just had to do it.
Mr. Tanner was a cleaner from the Midwest, cleaning shops around. He made his the best. He also was a baritone who sang while hanging clothes. He practiced scares while pressing tails and sang at local shows. His friends and neighbors praised the voice that poured out from his throat. They said that he should use his gift instead of cleaning coats. But music was his life. It was lost his livelihood, and it made to have him sing. There were plane tickets, phone calls, money spent to rent the hall. Took most of his savings, but he gladly used them all. But music was his life, it was not his livelihood. And it made him feel so happy, and it made him feel so good. He sang from his heart, and he sang from his soul. He did not know how when he sang, it just made him The evening came, he took the stage, his face set in a smile. In the half-filled hall, the critics sat, watching on the aisle. The concert was a blur to him, spatters of applause. He did not know how when he sang, he only had the flaws. But the critics were concise, it only took 4 lines, and no one could accuse them of being overkind. Mr. Montana, baritone, leading Ohio, made his town hall debut last night. He came well prepared, but unfortunately his presentation was not up to contemporary professional standards. His voice lacks the range and tone color necessary to make it consistently interesting. Full-time consideration of another endeavor might be in order. He came home to date and was questioned by his friends, but he smiled and just said nothing, and he never sang again. Accepting very late. He sang softly to himself as he saw him through the floor.
There you go. So that is probably the newest illusion in magic, and you're one of the first audiences to see it. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you. So can I do one last piece of magic before we get out of here? Is that okay? One more before we go? You're okay. You had dinner, right? You can't beat that. I know you're like, it's been 45 minutes. Let's go eat soon, but wrap it up, Magic Boy. So last piece of magic. I'll be on the ship until the second day of Bermuda, then I have to leave, and then we're going to go to Abilene, Texas or something, and do some shows there, to Paramount Theater, so I don't think you'll be there though. But anyway, so if you see me around the ship, come up and say hi. It's always, I always like to meet people and stuff. I mean, obviously, like I'm at the gym or something, give me some space. But other than that, if you see me around, if I'm eating, don't be rude. But yeah, anywhere, if you guys see me around the ship, come up and if I'm walking from one place to another, then probably when I get somewhere, leave me alone. But other than that, if you see me, if I'm sitting by myself and I look like I could use a friend, then I'm probably going through something personal and I want some space. But other than that, if I'm leaning against the wall, also avoid me. And also elevators off limit. But other than that, if you guys see me anywhere else, it is awkward when you're on an elevator and your wife or your husband hasn't seen the show, and then you see me across at the elevator, and then you go, "You were wonderful last night," and then it's very uncomfortable explaining that. Oh no, he's magic. And you're like, that doesn't sound any better. No, he's. Okay, but no, if you see me around, come up and say hi, and that's cool. So, last piece of magic. This one is considered by magicians and illusionists to be among the most difficult type of magic there is to master. Period. It's called object manipulation. The reason that I got interested in this was because between the ages of 5 and the day that I turned 18, I was a foster kid growing up, so I didn't have a lot of resources. Obviously, my family wasn't around. So I go down to the local library and I would learn as much as I could about magic from the books there. And I go back to my foster homes and I work on this stuff till my hands were sore and beat up. And I got a little better and started winning some awards and performing at cool places in New York City and Atlantic City, New Jersey, and my friend Ryan's house in Allentown, PA. Yeah, you know Ryan. He lives on the Parkway. And every time I do a show, I do this one piece of magic, and it's cool because we get new illusions in and old ones go out. This remains the same because people seem to like it. But I really did go to the library and I would check out the books for 2 weeks like I was allowed to, and I'd return them 2 weeks later like I was supposed to, and I'd always ask the librarian, was anybody else interested in those books? And she'd always say no, and so I'd check them out again. And this went on for like a year. And one day she finally said, nobody else is ever interested in those books, so just keep them with you as long as you want and bring them back when you're done. And I always think it's cool when an adult will push the bounds of what's allowed for a kid who's genuinely interested in something. But it was against the rules, so I did report her, and she was fired. So, of course, I kept the books. You know, I'm like that. And obviously, there's a lesson in that story somewhere, and I hope she learned it, whatever it is. I don't know. Not really a lesson guy, more of a magic guy. But, so, last piece of magic. Enjoy your cruise, guys. Enjoy Bermuda. It's beautiful. It's an amazing place. You get to walk around at night. It's kind of cool, too. And last piece of magic. Oh, by the way, real quick, if you're from the East Stroudsburg area or Poconos, we're going to be doing 20 shows there at a little theater, and you can look it up online, and obviously rebook your Royal Caribbean cruise first, and then after that, come to our show in the Poconos, because we need to sell tickets. So, last piece of magic. Here we go.
Drive to
The Megan dough is pretty good.